Howdy, and welcome back. Yes, I am finally back from my Bahamian cruise, my cruise through the Bahamas. And I tell you what, I survived, but just barely. And I don't know if the microphone's really picking it up too much, but man, oh man, do I feel bad. I feel awful. Oh. It was actually a very nice cruise, though. I would have to say I would go on another cruise if I didn't have to pay for it. I don't know if I would actively go on a cruise that I have to pay for, if that makes sense. Which, I mean, it was a good time. Just a lot of people everywhere, a lot of kids everywhere. Everyone was loud. It was rambunctious. And I did get the drink pass. The drink pass where I get my free drinks. I think you get like 15 free alcoholic beverages, and then you get unlimited like bottles of water and Gatorades and stuff like that, which was actually a pretty good deal, I think. Let's look at the map real quick. Let's go right. And I tell you what, so we left last Monday, a week ago from today, I guess. We left, or ported out of Port Canaveral in Florida. And, first thing we did once we got on board was got our drink passes. My buddy and I, we went off and convinced ourselves that we could utilize or get our money's worth out of it. And so whenever we convinced ourselves we can get our money's worth, we went, got it from the bar, and started drinking a little bit. My first drink I got was a Bloody Mary. Bloody Marys are my favorite drink, just because they have some health benefits to it, so it's not all bad like most alcoholic beverages are. So I try to stay towards those kind where it's not, I mean, yeah, preferably don't drink them, but if they have some health benefit to it, then might as well do it, I guess. But I did a one Bloody Mary, really enjoyed the Bloody Mary. It tasted actually very good, and we'll offer a stone. It tasted very good for a Bloody Mary on a cruise ship. And then once I was done with that Bloody Mary, I thought, I kind of want something a little sweeter. And so I went with a Moscato wine. And I drank about 9 of those Moscato wines. And I leave Friday. I drank about 9 of those Moscato wines. And ended up in bed by 8:30 that first night. We both just drank way too much and just went straight to bed. We had no energy for anything else. And then the next day we woke up bright-eyed, ready for the day. We went and got our free continental breakfast. And let's take a look at this map again. Free relic elite fight, we'll go right. Keep pushing right. We went, got our free continental breakfast. It was pretty good too. And then I was feeling a little off that morning. And you know what really makes you feel good the next day? Drinking a little bit more. So I started off with my Bloody Marys, just because a Bloody Mary is a Bloody Mary. It's good. It's good. And so I started drinking a few Bloody Marys, and I think I got through 5 Bloody Marys, and then all of a sudden I felt something in my throat, like something was stuck in my throat. And so I swallowed a few times, it hurt, and then I got some water. It still hurt, wasn't going away, and then I got a little worried, the fact that it was not going away. And I stopped drinking from then on out. I didn't have another drink of anything the rest of the trip, because after that first day of my throat hurting, the next day was a runny nose and throat hurting. It was miserable. So yes, I did get sick on my cruise, and I'm still sick a little bit. I do not feel good. So there's this aspect of it. And so if you guys ever want to go on a cruise, I do have to say, be extremely mindful of like hygiene. I guess not hygiene, but like disinfectants and stuff like that. Because I mean, I thought I was being like very mindful of it, which I do believe I was. But there's so many people on those ships, so many kids touch everything. It's kind of nasty if you think about it on a cruise ship, just all the bacteria and stuff. And now that I'm sick from it, it really grosses me out even more than I initially expected it to gross me out. And so if you ever decide to go on a cruise ship, bring your own Germex everywhere you go. There was not enough Germex dispensers on this ship that we were on. We were on what was it? Carnival Liberty. Yeah, Carnival Liberty is the cruise ship that we were on, and there was not enough Germex dispensers everywhere that you would expect there would be, especially with how prominent COVID had been. I figured everywhere would be like Germex galore on one of those, and I was sadly mistaken. But yes, but I don't think my disinfecting abilities is what caused me to get sick. I do have a working theory as to why and how I got sick. And it has to do with the aspects that it was first night, going back to the room real quick. I think we're going back to drop off our phones because we got into the middle of the ocean. There's no service, no nothing going on. We didn't need our phones on us for any reason. They were just more of a hassle than anything. My buddy's one of those, he went to school for accountancy, and he always has a watch on. And the watch that he brought for this trip got so much attention from everyone because it was a Casio calculator watch. And I tell you what, this man was not afraid to show it off. And so showing off, he did. And so we essentially based our timing off of his Casio watch. I want to get a watch. I really do, but I kind of have. So I've always had some money to buy a watch because I've always wanted a watch. A nice watch that I can always wear, that I can always see the time, and I use it as a watch, and it looks nice, looks professional. But I've always had like smaller wrists, not necessarily like tiny wrists or anything. I'm not like a small guy by any means. Well, I'm I'm not a small guy, but I'm not like a big guy by any means either. I'm like an average size man, I would say. Well, I guess height-wise, I'm slightly above average. Weight-wise, I'm probably below average, I would say. My BMI does say that I am right at my weight for my height, but I don't think it's that accurate. And my fiance tells me likewise as well. She always asks me if I've gone to the gym, because whenever I first met her, I went to the gym all the time. I was very healthy. I was active. And then whenever I met her, I got happy and content and slowed down quite a bit. And I think it definitely had an impact on my personality at the time, seeing that weight difference and that change in just my physique at that time. And so I think she was doing it for the betterment of me, not necessarily just because of the way I looked. I think it was because of I got a little more self-conscious because would see pictures of me from from a few months back, and I would look like a totally different kind of person. But we're slowly getting there, trying to hit the gym a little bit better, being a little more active with it. But this was kind of a long roundabout way to say that I've been postponing getting a watch because of my wrists. And I always thought maybe if I keep going to the gym, get bigger, get stronger, my wrist will get bigger. Which I went to the gym and I was pretty big at one time. At one time, not now. But my wrist never changed. I don't know how to grow your wrist size. I don't think there is a possible way because there's not much meat there. It's just bone in a joint and then a bunch of tendons is my understanding. But I always held on to the idea that it's possible for me to get my wrist to be bigger, so I always postpone getting a watch because why would I want to get a watch that I outgrow? But there comes a time whenever I need to understand that I'm not going to be outgrowing anything unless I'm growing wide. That's the only way I'm going to be outgrowing something, I think, nowadays at least. So I do need to just buckle down and get a watch, but I don't know what kind of watch. Definitely not a Casio, what is it? Calculator watch. My brain's not even working. Refreshive. Yeah, let's see, refreshive. But that was a whole nother little rabbit hole that I went down for unnecessary things. So yes, we went back to the room. This is my theory on as to how I got sick. I'll accept the bribe. We went back to the room to drop off our phones and a few other things that we didn't want to carry anymore. And whenever we did that, I could hear from a mile away this kid running down our hallway, just hacking up something. I have no idea what this kid had, but it sounded nasty. And I even told my buddy, I'm like, hurry up, let's get in there before this kid gets here. And our room key wasn't working. He kept retrying, and this kid's hacking hacking and waddling with its sibling all the way down to us. I was trying to hold my breath and everything as this kid was running by, and this was the nastiest sound cough I've heard in a long time. And this was first day this happened to me. And this kid runs by and I could hear his mom way down the hallway, left in their dust, saying, "Cover your mouths." And I have no doubt in my mind that's 100% where I got my sickness, my illness is from that kid just hackling his way all the way down the hallway. That is the source, and I don't know how to prepare to that. Sorry, I had to get a drink. Oh, this is the most talking I've done in a long time. Well, in a while. Oh, I'll take the fight against the rocks, or these guys, whatever they are. So yes, if you ever go on a cruise, bring your own thing of Germex, because believe me, they do not provide enough of it. And bring your own shampoo. Highly recommend you bring your own shampoo. The shampoo they have there is absolutely terrible. It is awful shampoo. Oh, ooh. Yep, shampoo sucked. The body wash was kind of sucky as well. The body wash that they had kind of left you a little grimy or greasy with it. like you didn't get it all off, is the feeling that I got from it. Like I needed to be in the water for a little bit longer. And it would probably be a fun, I don't know, man. They make it sound like it would be a fun thing to do with your family, but I don't know if I would enjoy it with my family. If I had like a family with kids or something, 100% your kids are gonna get sick. Imagine all those sorry. Imagine all of those things these kids are carrying. All these kids are from all over the place, all different things, all different illnesses and whatnot. They're all just there spreading it, sharing it with the world, and your kids sitting there in the pool with them playing or doing whatnot. All that water that they're breathing in or splashing around has been all over. Their saliva's in it. Everything is all, I don't know. It just grosses me out a little bit. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, I wouldn't go on a cruise and pay for it. I would only go on another cruise if and only if it was free again. I think that's the only way it seems viable to do, if that makes sense. Let's see if we can get some bombs here. We have a full board to do. There's one bomb, 2 bombs triggered. Did we trigger 3? Yes. Upgrade. Let's upgrade my bob orb. Oh. So yeah, I don't know if it's really a family-filled fun trip. Probably would be if it was a little more clean. But if you're going without kids, it is actually pretty fun as long as you like avoid the top center deck. I think it was like deck 10 and 11, dead center. Avoid those bad boys and you'll be happy. You'll be a happy camper all trip. Because the kind of like in the middle of the ship on deck 10 and 11, the top decks is where like the kids play, like the kid pool, the big activity spot is. So that's like where all the kids hang out and whatnot. And so if you avoid that, you're golden. Golden. Look at that. Perfected reactant. It's almost like they want us to have a bomb build. I don't know. Ah, perfect. Oh, yeah, so on the ends of the ship is like the adults only area. My buddy's a big gambler. Well, he's not necessarily a big gambler, but he does gamble if it's presented to him. He does have kind of a problem, but not. He's self-aware of it at least, and he kind of limits himself a lot more than you would expect. But that's how he got the free cruise and then invited me because he had no one else to invite with. But okay, now let's do this. Well, this will be nice. It's a lot of damage being dealt here with all these bombs. If we had a way to refresh bombs, I think we would be a little better set up. I am pretty impressed with how much my voice has come back. I had like no voice on the trip, and I'm pretty sure, I'm no doctor by any means, but I'm pretty sure I probably had strep throat. Because isn't strep throat really like high in kids? That's like a high kid transmuted illness. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it is. Kind of wanted you to hit one of these refreshes. If you know what I mean, I would like you to hit this refresh down here. Okay, hit all of them. That works in my book. 24, 23. Can't go wrong with that, right? Unless you find a way to go straight down the middle or something. All right. Look at this. Hit the refresh on your way out. That's okay. We have a refresh up top here. 26, 25. Our refreshes are down below. Oh, but you found a way to hit it. Oh, doesn't even matter. We had so much damage dealt. I don't really want to match 3 orbs. All orbs get +0, +4, but that's fine. Consuming chalice is fine, I think. Oh. But yeah, the stops that we had for the cruise was the... What was it? The first stop was Nassau, but every single person on that cruise ship called it NASA. I don't know. I think it was just like what is it? Why is my brain not working? It's accents. Just accent wise, it made it sound like they're saying NASA, but I think they're trying to say Nassau or Nassau or Nassau. Now I can't say it right, but we were making fun of that the trip too, because every time they would say it on the speakerphone, it would be NASA. Have a good day at NASA. And then they were really selling it to us that that they sell diamonds on that island, on Nassau Island. Diamonds are where it's at. And so on the TV, they had this, on like multiple channels, they had these diamond ads and saying, bring home your special someone, this diamond ring or diamond, raw diamond, uncut gem. I don't know, it was very weird. I definitely did not come home with any diamonds, which I'm sure my fiance is probably happy that I did not spend money on a diamond, but also will be, I don't know, she would prefer me come home with a diamond, I guess, if it was free. But they did have quite a few jewelry stores that we took a gander at only because they were AC'd, but they don't have ACs in their building, I don't believe. I think they only have AC in one spot, and that's at the front door of the building, and it's blowing straight outside. So when you walk past the building, you feel the AC and you're like, let's go in there and cool off. And once you go through that front door where that AC is blowing, it feels just like it does outside. It's a little bit of a marketing scheme they got there, which, I mean, more power to you. Probably, I do like safety net, but walled chicken to give us a little bit more health is probably going to be more helpful for us. Especially if we just, oh, come on, go left. That's all right. We don't need more relics, right? They know how to market to the people. Show us heavy signs of AC and we'll be right inside that door. It worked for me, but I didn't buy anything. We did look at watches there though, but not really a watch that suited my fancy, if you know what I mean. Did not suit my fancy. Brace yourself for damage. I don't really care where we go, I don't think. I'm not too picky. Can I not heal with... Oh, popping corn does not work on the post-fight thing anymore. It's interesting. I think it did at one point. Short fuse is probably more ideal for us. I guess tactical treat will do. Let's take a gander at this map and see where we're heading. We can go left here, I guess. We'll go left. Left and left. Take on that elite fight. But yeah, I did mention that my symptoms, I don't know if I did mention, but every day I've had a different symptom with this nonsense. So what? Monday we landed and I was exposed. That was patient zero, was that kid that ran past me. Old patient zero infected me as he was running by with his sibling, having so much fun. He knew what he did. He saw me and knew that I didn't deserve this much fun for a free trip. I was gonna take it for granted. But so day one, D1, due day, D-Day was Monday. Tuesday I felt sick in the sense that my throat hurt. Tuesday my throat hurt. Wednesday my nose was running non-stop. It was awful. And then Wednesday was runny nose. Thursday, well, my throat started hurting and I had a slight cough. Slight random cough that came out of nowhere. Not quite sure where it came from, where it came from, but I just had just the slightest little cough every once in a while. But my nose was a little more stuffed up. And then Friday came. Friday I had more of a cough. No more nose problems. My nose was cleaned up. It cleaned itself up for me. But every time I coughed, I had a shooting pain in my head that went from the back of my head straight to the back of my eyes. I just had that constant pain every time I coughed. So coughing was miserable Friday. And then Saturdays, whenever we came back, into home, flew home and everything. We ported up on Friday whenever I had that cough and headache or pain in my head. Or was that Saturday? I don't know. It's all running together. I know Saturday I had the same thing. My symptoms remained the exact same on Saturday. It was cough with that shots of pain in my eyes, as well as like a runny nose. The runny nose came back for whatever reason. It came back and I could hardly talk. I didn't even want to talk because every time I talked it would dry out my throat and then my throat would start getting sore again. So I tried not talking. And then whenever I got home on Saturday, I took a COVID test because I needed, if it was positive, I would need to start, I would have to contact and do all that embarrassing things. And took the COVID test. It was negative, so I didn't have to embarrass myself and say I got COVID on a cruise like everyone else told me I was gonna get COVID on a cruise, and I told them no, I'm not, and made fun of them because they were gonna try to scare me off my cruise. But I avoided the embarrassment of it, and so instead I tested negative and I carried on being sick. So joke's on them. But on Sunday, I had the same, Sunday was the worst day. I didn't even get out of bed. I stayed in bed all day, slept all day. I had a fever of 101 and miserable. I wanted to record that day because that was like my full day bag. Record, tell some stories, have a good time. And definitely did not happen. unfortunately did not happen. I had no energy, no way to like really talk that well. Couldn't keep it up, and I'm sure I'm still having a hard time right now as well with it, just because it's probably not the best of commentary from me, but pretty scattered minded. But what am I doing here? Oh, duplicating. Let's duplicate my Bob Orb. I didn't really want to start with the shock orbsorber, but we will. But in the coming videos, I will be opening up a little more and telling more of the stories of what happened on some of the islands that we went to. Nassau Island, Freeport. We went to Freeport. Yeah, those were the two Bahama islands we went. I got pretty good stories with each of those, so there's some exciting things that happened on those specific ventures, to say the very least. Oh, we'll wait for these refreshes to come back around. Well, you didn't necessarily get thrown where I was hoping you would. Well, that worked. Freeport, Freeport was a miserable time for me, and oh man, I can't wait to share that. Freeport is something else, man. Let's see how strong these shock absorbers got. 60, 63. 60, 63. Let's get this Bob Orb out here. Perfect. Well, it's good to be back. I survived, and I'm gonna get back on the swing of things, get a little bit more Peglin videos out, maybe start feeling a little better, more for a longer stint, because I tell you what, being sick this often is no bueno, por favor. But I hope to talk with you all later, and bye.